Food prices are nearly a third more expensive than they were 2 years ago. And if that isn't hard enough to swallow, I'll reveal that some of our favourite products have secretly had expensive ingredients removed.
I would consider that a major reformulation. It's simple cost reduction.
Despite prices going up. I want to compare food on the shelves today with older versions. Now, luckily, there's something called an Internet Archive, which allows you to travel back in time virtually. It only saves some web pages, but it does throw up some very revealing examples. For instance, this Morrisons roast beef dinner with a crisp Yorkshire pudding. Last year, it had a quarter more Yorkshire pudding and 15% more beef. This Christmas caddy of mini cheddars a couple of years ago had 20% more cheese, and the price was nearly a third cheaper. Reducing expensive ingredients has been called skimpflation, and I find it pretty sneaky. There's no new recipe being announced, yet the product is the same name, it's the same size. We only found these because they happen to be on the Internet Archive. How many more examples are there out there? To find out how food gets reformulated, I'm meeting a man who's seen it all before. So Rob, you are a food technologist?
Indeed, what I've done, I spent all my 40 years working for the food manufacturers and indeed people like supermarket chains to produce the final products that they want.
What does Rob think about recipe reformulations?
If they don't do that, their prices are going to have to go up markedly. Because one of the problems has been literally in the last few years is that the basic commodity products have gone up. So the price of wheat flour, the price of cooking oil.
At their peak in autumn 2022, wheat and cooking oil prices were 2/3 higher than in 2019, creating an incentive for manufacturers to use less and save money. So what will Rob make of some other changes I've found? Okay, so this is an Ella's Kitchen Oh So Creamy chicken and veg with sweet corn mash. Previously, the main ingredient was sweet corn. And sweet corn used to be 29%. It's now gone down to 19%.
Okay.
Milk has dropped from 20% to 13%. Chicken is down from 12% to 10%. And at the same time, while these more expensive ingredients have gone down, the price increased by 20 pence.
The first thing I would say, I would consider that a major reformulation. That's a major change. Yeah, I would say that number one cost would be chicken one way or another.
And the milk reduction from 20 to 13, is that, in terms of cost, is that quite a big cost saving potentially?
Yeah, a saving of a third like that would be significant, yeah.
So cost savings are a potential explanation. And something else has caught Rob's eye.
It is of concern that what we've got is a reduction in terms of calorific value, because by reducing the corn and the milk by a third, which is what you've just said, we're also seeing a reduction in terms of the overall energy and calorific value.
It's gone from 71 calories per 100 grams. It's now fallen to 56.
And that could make a difference in terms of the nutrition of this particular pack.
So these secret changes mean it's possibly cheaper to make for Ella's Kitchen. But what do my panel think?
I would have gone for those meals when my daughter was younger for the fact that I knew that she was getting her daily nutritional intake. So the fact that that's decreased is it's not really assuring.
And I would compromise other things so that they could have that, because it was always known to be nutritious. The changes being made, you might not necessarily buy that, but if we don't know the changes, you would continue to spend extra money.
It's not the greatest because obviously the prices are obviously going up, but you're getting less, and obviously when it starts affecting your children, it gives you the ump a little bit more.
Baby food is a product with many ingredients, but when there's just one, might cost savings still be found? Okay, so we have a Greek-style yoghurt from Tesco, made using British milk.
So the first thing you start with in the industrial situation is a big vat of milk. However, you add in additional milk powders of various sorts. So supposing you want a high-fat Greek yoghurt, then you'd add a lot of what we call filled milk powder which is rich in fat.
Filled milk powder gives manufacturers precise control over the fat, which is interesting indeed when you compare the current version to the one sold in 2020. The product is identical compared with 2020, except for two changes. One is the price. Back in 2020, it was 50 pence. It's now £1.10. And the other thing is the fat content. So per portion, it's gone from 9.5 grams to 7.5 grams.
Right.
Why would you reduce the fat content of a Greek-style yogurt?
It's simple cost reduction. The most expensive part of milk-based products is the fat or cream content.
Yet again, it's a hidden change. The product looks just like it used to. But according to the Tesco website, some customers seem to have noticed the difference. Look at these reviews. 1 star. This used to be the best of all the supermarkets until the recipe was changed. 2 stars. Used to be thick and creamy. I think corners have been cut to save on production costs. Not my words, words of Tesco customers. When it comes to more complex products, removing a pricey ingredient is a complex business. Let's have a look at this Tesco beef lasagna. It used to be, in July 2022, beef was the main ingredient. It was 23%.
Right.
It's now second on the list, and the beef content has fallen to 19%.
So to try and cover that up, and that's the only wording I can use really, that's going to take quite a bit of work. So the food technology would work quite a bit on that, I'd imagine.
It's still called Tesco beef lasagna. It still says a taste of Italy on the front. But mushrooms have now appeared in the ingredient list. Have the mushrooms been a direct replacement for the beef? Have they reduced the beef and hope we haven't noticed by adding some mushrooms in there?
So I can't say for certain, but it's one of the things I would certainly, if I was a technical, that's one of the things I would do. The nice thing about mushrooms is that they enhance the flavour, they increase fibre content. Generally, they're good things to add.
The salt is also up by 1/3 to help the flavour, but the mushrooms create a new problem.
If you cook mushroom, you may remember, you get water leaches out of them when they cook, and you've got to control that somehow. So you may need to add an extra kind of food additive, something like a starch, to mop up that.
So in the industrial kitchen, starches are very important.
Absolutely. So that's binding the water up. You need to make sure that water is permanently bound within the product and not going to form a separate layer later.
Tesco aren't the only ones. Morrisons' The Best Lasagna al Forno dropped from 30% to 26% beef since last year. When we asked Morrisons why they had reformulated their lasagna and the roast beef dinner, and if this was to save costs, they told us. This is an unprecedented period of inflation, and we are working hard to keep prices down and competitive for our customers. We also asked Tesco whether the reformulations of their beef lasagna and their yoghurt were to save costs. They said, "We are always looking for ways to improve our recipes, not only to make them taste better, but also to provide products that are healthier for our customers and better for the planet." And Ella's Kitchen, we asked if they had changed the recipe of their chicken and veg to save costs. They said, "Following customer feedback, we made changes to the texture of this product, along with others in the range, making a smoother texture for growing little ones who are just learning to chew. We did this by working with infant development experts to ensure the product still contains enough protein, vegetables and calories." And Jacob's producer Pladis told us, "We reformulated mini cheddars by introducing a new cheese. With a stronger flavour, this required different amounts of cheese. We've also been dealing with inflationary pressures." The food manufacturers and the retailers saying they're doing all within their power to help us, the hard-pressed consumer, but they're also ensuring they're protecting their bottom line.